We hear a lot about empaths, and there's a lot of sort of negative perceptions about empaths. They're sensitive in a negative way, kind of weak, energy sponges, it's too hard, life's too hard, can't go outside, too toxic, too negative. I'm not making fun of you because I'm one of these people. But in this video, I want to talk about what an empowered empath looks like because we need a model. What does it look like to be a fucking warrior ninja empath? It's important to go into the shadow. It's important to understand the lessons and transform them. And we need to do that. And I've done that in other videos. I'll do it in future videos. But we also want to know what a good model is. My name is Adam. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm really excited to dive into this topic today, but first I want to let you know I'm doing free breakthrough calls. There is a link pinned in the comment section below. These are really great calls. We go over your vision for your life, what's still like stopping you and in your way, and what you could do to actually get what you want in this world. Now, what does a ninja warrior empath look like? What does an empowered empath look like? What is a vision of an empath that we can all, when we're really sensitive and, have a difficult time in life, aspire to be like? And I have an idea. Now, this is not perfect. No analogy lines up perfect. But this is what I see. I would go watch The Lord of the Rings. The elves in The Lord of the Rings are fucking warrior ninja empaths, okay? Legolas, Orlando Bloom's character, is excellent. Every time I watched that movie when I was younger, I always wanted to be an elf. And I was like, why is this? I was like, well, because they had all the qualities that I saw in myself in a healthy way, mostly, right? They were super psychic. They were super intuitive. They could sense when something was coming. They had this deep connection to the earth, to nature, to something beyond, right? They had all those abilities. They were very sensitive. They had to watch out for their sensitivity to an extent, and they did have to manage that. But they were really empowered. They were graceful. They were fucking warrior ninja elves. They didn't take shit from anybody. They were strong. They were clear. They were graceful. They lived a really long time. They were there for their friends when they needed them. But they weren't doormats. They didn't let themselves just be walked all over. They had their boundaries. They had their space. They could be a little bit cold. They could be a little bit snooty, okay? Like I said, this isn't perfect. They could be maybe a little arrogant. This isn't perfect, but it's a good marker. So what are 3 traits of like a warrior ninja empath? The first one is discernment. This is incredibly important. This is like the essence of transforming the weak shadow, doormat, I'll do whatever you want, people pleaser aspect of the empath to the warrior ninja empath. So I read this book called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. And it's about male archetypes, but this is not just for men. These archetypes relate to all people. I would recommend that book for women too. But the point definitely applies to women. So in this, it's kind of based on Jungian psychology. There are different archetypes of the immature male, and there's immature female too. And then there's different archetypes for the mature male. And then within the archetypes, there's positive aspects and there's shadow aspects. The last immature masculine archetype in the positive version, from the positive polarity, is the hero. We're all going on our own hero's journey into, ascension in our true self. But the hero is actually an immature archetype because the hero is still coming from ego. It's still coming from a place of wanting to prove itself, right? Wanting to rescue, wanting to save, like I'll take on the fight, whether they can or not. The hero is the one that goes on some kamikaze pilot mission and ends up dying. And it's like, well, was that brave? Kinda, but it was also stupid, right? That's the hero archetype. And when the hero learns its lesson, when it maybe goes a little too far and finds its boundaries and then develops discernment. And it transforms from the hero into the warrior. And the difference is the warrior has wisdom. The warrior has patience. The warrior knows when to help, when to fight, and when not. The warrior can look at a situation and assess, Do I need to be involved in this? It will not take on battles. It knows it can lose because there's no point. It's not a chicken shit because it's like, I'm not going to get myself killed, because it would be betraying itself. And it also knows it would be leaving behind its family. It would be doing no good to just try to prove itself. It's humble. And when it needs to, and it needs to fight, it does. This is one of the most important lessons for empaths. Because we're all out there trying to rescue and save everybody. The other aspect to discernment is a deep wisdom and connection to the divine, knowing that ultimately everybody is okay. That it might not be your place to help because that person has that power, that warrior power within themselves, and they need to find it for them. And no matter what happens, the divine has their back. And you also know that sometimes you're meant to play a role and sometimes you're not. That's the warrior archetype, and that is discernment. Knowing what person's good for you, what person isn't. Number 2, unconditional love. The number 2 trait is unconditional love, not transactional love, not I give you something, you give it back. It's unconditional love and the understanding that everything happens from within. That is one of the other most important lessons for the empath. You cannot help anybody by taking on their energy. You cannot help anybody by reaching outside of yourself. So for example, if you see a homeless person filled with shame, there could be a role for you to play in giving them some food or something like that. They may also maybe need to just be homeless because they had a bunch of people offer them housing and they chose not to because they want to be a drug addict. And by you giving them money, you're fueling their addiction and they're not taking the step that they need to better themselves. That's part of the discernment lesson. But the other thing is understanding when you see someone with deep shame, you don't go, oh, poor baby, here, take my energy. You look at what it is in you that's being triggered by them. Where do you feel shame in yourself? You don't heal them by waving a magic wand and taking away their shame. They need to do that. You can help heal them by looking in yourself and being like, everything is a projection of me. I emit my own frequency to the environment instead of absorbing it. So I don't absorb shame. I look at where the shame is within me and I heal that. And I forgive that. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. That's the essence of the Ho'oponopono prayer. You can do some research, YouTube videos on that prayer. And when you do that, you fill your energy field with love and strength unconditionally. And then when you're out and about, that homeless person might just get a download of your code because within you, you've already taken apart this knot. You've untied it within yourself. And that person can then subconsciously take the code, not your energy. There's a difference. Your code, kind of like in a math book when they do the first example for you and you're like, oh, that's how you do it. And then you go and you figure the rest out on your own and heal the shame within themselves subconsciously, or they can attract the people that will show them how to do that. The number 3 trait is boundaries. Knowing when to say no, how to say no, and sometimes if you're an empath, even telling someone to fuck off. Now, you don't want to recommend telling someone to fuck off to everybody because some people just go around telling everybody to fuck off, and you want to use discernment. You don't necessarily want to tell your boss to fuck off and then you get fired. That's part of the first trait. But in order to heal, we're all kind of making our way back to center. So imagine the center is here. You could be here, you could be here, you could be here. If you're here, you need to go here. If you're here, you need to go here. If you're over here, you need to go here. For an empath, we tend to not stand up for ourselves, not to say what we think. We don't want people to dislike us. Sometimes, to go back to center, you need to go a little bit past it, just to break through the wall. But the other thing I would say is a lot of times if you're not used to standing up for yourself, you're going to think when you stand up for yourself that it's way too much because you're not used to that, because it feels weird, because it's different and it's new. So I would give yourself permission, if you absolutely need to tell somebody to fuck off. I wouldn't recommend going around doing it all day, every day. Just give yourself the permission. Like, I'm going to set boundaries. I'm going to say no when I need to, and I'm going to say get the fuck out of my life when I need to. Whatever it takes for my own good, so that I can clear my space out, heal my own wounds, and stop drawing in these kinds of people. We kind of go out and pull in. We go out and pull in people that match our wounds. When we heal our own wounds, we go out and pull in just naturally people that strengthen us. Because within you, you're resonating the codes of like, I emit my own frequency. I am the creator of my own life. And it's a different sort of attraction. It's not like a trauma bond, like puzzle piece filling in a hole sort of attraction. It's like two whole people as mirrors just kind of go, boom. Not like this, just boom. And that starts with saying no. I can't do it. I can't help you move. Whatever it is. These are 3 very important traits to start with, because it is more than possible. I wouldn't even say it's more than possible. Empaths are spiritual masters. It's like you have incredible spiritual gifts and incredible potentials, but you're hanging out down here. And we're hanging out down here because we've been sensitive, we've been traumatized, we've been through all of it. I totally fucking get it. But it starts with seeing, like, who could I actually become? How could I actually turn these into superpowers? This awareness, this sensitivity, they're all gifts. But there's a few really important things to get first. I would probably say that Yogananda was an empath. The Self-Realization Fellowship gurus were empaths. Those motherfuckers could move mountains. Like true spiritual power, when you're really connected to divine love, like takes no shit and is very loving and compassionate, and can do miraculous things. That's the potential for an empath. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. I look very forward to hearing you. Any questions, concerns, realizations you've had about this. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I do have a free energy clearing you can download in the description below. It will help you clear some of the old trauma patterns out. Other than that, thank you very much. I look forward to next time, and peace.